All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, Andrew here for catskullGameing, and welcome to the weekly dev diary. This is where I go over what progress or lack of progress I've made in Project Doug, the game that I am developing. So this week, let's just get right into it. I have been trying to get further on in the game loop, getting it so that we go from finishing up the first questionnaire and opening up that first lock to getting the next set of questionnaires. One of the things that I figured out is that I wanted to go to the ArtOMatic station, and you put a coin in you get from the locker, and that will give you one of the next questionnaires. And so I've been trying to get it so that this ArtOMatic has functionality. My original idea was to set it up so that when you get into the scene, you'd click on the coin box. If you have a coin, it would let you then pick 1, 2, or 3. You pick one of those, where each one costs a coin amount, and you could use the ArtOMatic tokens that you find throughout the game world to get these nice little drawings or pictures as a collectible. But the first time that you use it, you'd get one of the questionnaires, or you could use them to get stuff like that. So I was going to put a questionnaire here and set that functionality up. I had thought, I'll do it just like the locker. You'll click on the scene. When you click on it, a dialogic window will open up with choices. Do you want 1, 2, or 3? You can click on them. So I started writing that out in dialogic, and it got to the point where just figuring out all the logic for it so it would actually work, I realized that this is going to be so much easier if I just write a script and attach it to the thing and then call dialogic for the descriptions as you click things, instead of having dialogic handle the logic. So hopefully by next week I'll have this written and done so that you can interact with the ArtOMatic token, so you can interact with the ArtOMatic machine. It'll take your token and you'll get a questionnaire. Those questionnaires, I've been trying to figure out what those are as well, and so I've been just writing out, trying to organize my thoughts, and I kind of have it figured out what I think those next questionnaires are going to be. I think questionnaire 2 and 3 are going to be names and then what's needed to exit. And so questionnaire 3 could be a fire exit plan with stuff written on it that you have to then fill in with the different vocabulary words. And questionnaire 2 could be about all the different people you would meet, so you can fill in names and job titles. And then those will be needed so that you can solve questionnaire 4. And this is something the Golden Idol did, is you would have one questionnaire that would let you know who the cast of characters are, and then you could use those cast of characters to fill in, like, the Grand Promusha. Well, who's the Grand Promusha? It's Devin Isaac or whatever. What you didn't really need it, but you would rely on it to help you fill in those next steps. I really want to have that building of the questionnaires. I think that's important to the game state and the way that things work, that as you gain one resource, that resource is then valuable because it is usable not just in the initial instance, but it might be usable down the road in these other areas, either directly or indirectly. So figuring that out and trying to just write what is that has been the biggest roadblock, honestly, to progression, because I don't really know where I'm going with it. Changing the scene so that the lock puzzle is no longer a questionnaire, but it's just a puzzle. You look at it, you have to intuit based on the picture what the code should be. I need to put some kind of hints or helps or clues in there that you can use in case you get stuck, but I think overall that general those two kinds of puzzles, where one is a questionnaire where you're using intuition and deduction to fill it in, and the other one, which is a deductive puzzle where you're looking at a picture and you're trying to figure out how this picture relates to the clue that I have, so that I can solve, what is the 3 numbers or what are the 3 letters that go into this thing so I can open this lock. I really like those two puzzles. I think they work together as a way of doing something that is similar and yet different. Close enough that there's not a disconnect in the way that you're actually thinking. It's very similar. Like you're deducing and looking and figuring something out in both cases, but one's you're looking at a picture, the other one's it's word deduction. So I really like the way that those things kind of dovetail together. Now it's just using that and building out the rest of this game so that it fits within those constraints. Like most projects, I get into it and I realize something and I want to start over so I can add that new thing to it, but I just got to keep the path and get the loop done. So that's been what I've been working on this week. I'm really excited about it. I also have been in contact with that software engineer, which has been great. We're going to chat about the project on Sunday, and I get to go through the insanity that is what I've been working on and present it to another human being who knows how to code and try to see if they want to work with me, which I think is just wild, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and this thing is put together, with YouTube tutorials and gumption. So it will be very interesting to get someone who has training and experience in programming and engineering and that kind of stuff, to see what they say about how I've structured things, how I have things put together. I was just going through and like, oh man, even to just go through and commit in the repo. Like, I'm using a forked version of my main repo right now, and most of my comments are push or pushy or pushed, something like that. That's not a good way to communicate and make sure that what I'm doing is transparent so that someone else can then go in and make adjustments and do things. So even just looking at that, I was like, oh man, if there's another person that has to work on this with me, I have to be more diligent about making sure I'm leaving a roadmap for them so they know what I'm doing, so that they can actually work on the project with me and we aren't tripping over each other. And so this is kind of what I was saying. Have this picture, have it be a Polaroid, but I've got a de-dither. That's another thing I need to add. I need to add a scene manager so that when you go into these kind of scenes where you have to see this information, the dither is reduced to like 1, and then when you leave them, the dither's set back to what it was at before. And so then we get to the locker section. But yeah, just getting that set up so that I can work and share stuff with someone else. It's going to be a trip. And I mean, that's assuming that they even want to work with me. One, we still have to go through the project. I still have to see if he's even interested in working with me on it. This thing is at such early stages that it will be interesting to see someone else's response to it. But that's pretty much where I'm at this week. I'm hoping that I'll be able to start spending more time on the project. However, I do start real life work out in the real world, 40 hours a week, on Tuesday next week, and so we will see what I can get done. But honestly, if someone else joins the project and they take on some of the programming and they're working on some of that, and I can focus more on art assets, music, puzzle design, game design, and those elements, maybe we'll see more progress each week than what I've been able to put in. Who knows? But thank you so much for joining me this week to check out how things are going in Project Doug. I really appreciate it. If you would go ahead and like the video, comment, let me know what you think of the project, what you think about some of the puzzles, if there's things you would change. I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to hear feedback from anybody watching this. Join me every Sunday as I play Lorelei and the Laser Eye. It's an amazing puzzle game that is definitely influencing what I'm doing in my own project, and it's why I play puzzle games every Sunday. So join me as I stream that. And otherwise, I am going to go ahead and get myself a coffee and get back to work. And I hope you will too. So have a good one. Bye. Now all I gotta do is find out how to turn off all the things. What am I going to do? I'm going to turn off all the things. Just got to figure it out. Hey, stop that, don't shout. Hey, it's time to turn off all the things. Yeah!